happy readers. Today we're going to be talking about Pretty Crooked by Elisa Ludwig. I'm pronouncing her last name like Beethoven's first name, so yeah. So Pretty Crooked is basically if you take Robin Hood and have it be like Gossip Girl and Mean Girls, that kind of thing. You know, Get In Loser, We're Going Shopping, that kind of idea. Also, the main character is new to town and she just so happens to become friends with the glitterati, the most popular girls in school, the most rich girls in school as well. So most of these girls are bullies. They're very mean to other girls who, you know, are less fortunate than them. And so Willa decides that she's going to take her revenge by stealing from them in order to make the less fortunate more happy. These girls called the Busted because they are bussed into the nicer school district. And yeah, that's awful. Basically, this girl in the novel has a website called Valley Buzz, and she basically spreads rumors, kind of like Gossip Girls. Everything's anonymous, but you know who's behind it. It very much reminded me of Juicy Campus. I don't know if many of you remember that site, but a couple of years ago, it made its rounds to the college that I was going to at the time, and it spread very mean rumors about people. And yeah, so I don't have very good taste in my mouth about those kinds of websites. I'm glad that this book brings up bullying. You know, it's a very lighthearted approach to it, and it's just like, here's what not to do when somebody bullies you. And but I think that it was again a fun approach. It's not anything that's like, I want to be, you know, I'm going to teach you a lesson about bullying, that kind of thing. But you know, it's just, she went a weird way about it. Willa is just, you know, she has a mind of her own. She's good at, when she gets her mind set on something, she's going to do it. The writing in this novel is quite, I don't know how to explain it, but like how it's explaining things, like when Willa is like, I'm stealing stuff out of somebody's purse. She kind of like steals it and then goes about, you know, explaining how she did it or something. It just makes it very like, you know, she somehow stole this out of somebody's purse without getting caught. Like, you're in a classroom full of people. Yes, they're watching a movie, but you know, when I see somebody bending below a table and rifling through their friend's purse, I would have questions. There just isn't a lot of descriptive text as far as how these robberies happen. It's just kind of like, I did this and it happened, okay, cool, bye. There just really isn't a lot of descriptive text, at least not to my, you know, my liking, I guess. Maybe I'm being picky, I don't know, but I feel like there wasn't enough describing like how she did certain things. It was just kind of like, I walked past this thing and I grabbed it out of this person's pocket. That's it, and it's just, I want more. If you're going to tell me that you robbed something, I just like, you know, how Allie Carter does her heist stuff, and so it's just kind of fun to hear about like how somebody goes about doing something insanely crazy, maybe yeah. Something that very much irked me within the first 20 pages was when Willa talks about how girls are more dramatic than guys are and more competitive as far as getting popular. And in my personal high school experiences, from what I remember, which is like, you know, 6+ years ago, yeah, about 6 years ago, you know, I remember guys being just as dramatic as girls, as well as, like, the guys bought, like, you know, the nice shoes and, you know, the Air Jordans and the name a designer who was popular, and they have it. You know, we're next to a really high, you know, the big golf club, you know, neighborhood, and so, you know, and that's not necessarily an excuse. It's not a rich person thing necessarily, but it's just like, you know, you always have that food chain, I guess, and it's not necessarily like the girls who were on top. There was no, I don't even think that there was like a set of like one gender being better than the other or like more dramatic. Again, like, I just don't feel like that's a really good ideology to build a story on, because yeah, there was like one guy who said mean things about the Busteds, but like it was usually the girls, and it was just like, you know, guys can be just as awful about, you know, talking about people and things like that. Like, you know, don't just put it on the girls and say, yep, those girls are mean and they're evil and that's it, because yeah, I just don't feel like it's very true. On a more lighthearted note, I would like to say that the boy feels are just on the nose, really good. When she talks about how Willa reacts when she first sees Aiden, and you know, she goes through the list of, oh, here's the nice qualities and here's his one fault. You know, his nose isn't that perfect. Basically just some like excuse to be like, oh well, he's not totally perfect. It's hilarious. I very much enjoyed any scene that happened with Aiden. I kind of wish there was more kissing, but you know, I liked the scenes that he actually got. And but you know, a lot of his stuff seemed to be like setting up maybe for the next novel. It's the same thing as with Willa's mom, how, you know, there's a lot of mysterious breadcrumb trail type things, and you're just like, whoa, could you explain a little bit about this? And you hear like a tiny bit, and it's just like, okay, who are you? Are you a bank robber or something? Because this is mysterious and weird, and I need you to explain this. It's just, there's enough stuff in this novel that seems it's very much like this is going to be addressed in a later novel or something like that. Very much like there's going to be another novel, and it's just like, okay, I feel like if you're going to write a series, at least have the first book have enough not loose strings that, you know, I like it when they take like stuff you didn't even think about connecting and they connect that to the next in the next novel. But as far as like being like, here are these loose ends flying in the wind, I'm not a big fan of that. But overall, I thought that it was a fun novel. It's not a novel that I would read again per se, but I think that if you enjoy things like Gossip Girl and Mean Girls, things like that, you will deeply enjoy this novel. That being said, there will be a giveaway on my blog for Pretty Crooked. It's for US and Canada residents only. I'm sorry, international type people. I will put a link below to Book Depository, which sends books, I think they do free shipping all over the world, but I will put links below to all of the things down there and in the, you know, Chamber of Secrets, that kind of thing. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this book review. I hope you have a great day and keep reading.